the space, step into headquarters. We talked about the other technique that we learned in week 1, which is this hip and lever, and I can bring my knee through the space. In an ideal world, I want the underhook, and then I sit through, get Carl's hips facing the other way, and then we want the cross face. Very difficult in no gi. Carl, probably you'll bring in a knee shield, you'll already have that underhook. So we talked about from there getting upper body control, whereby I'd be bringing this underneath the jawline, hand to hand, and now just like we did in lower body, just turning that up and flattening the bar out. Okay. Once I get him to this position, Carl wants to get on, he wants to bring his underhook out, and we talked about the back step, how I could close that down by physically making this grip here. Then the hand comes across. And sometimes what can happen is, when you bring someone down and use hip and lever, Carl brings this in, he can go the underhook route, but he can also frame here, probably connecting his elbow so that I can put weight in him. So if I start to bring my hand through, start to turn my elbow up, and now when I smear through this, we end up in that position again. So of course now we'll be looking for our basic arm triangle, which will be going to mount and finishing on this side, which we'll look at a future week. But let's take a look at the main counter against that arm triangle, which is turning onto the side. So I've done our move, we're here, I come through the space, I look for lower body control, I use that to turn him up. Carl's framing, trying to keep me at his hip level, so that arm comes up, and then I move my body up, and then I get to here, and I'm looking for the snugness. Any katagatame or arm triangle, you want to keep the shoulders on the mat. So now I can start to put pressure on him. Carl's escape, whether it's in transition, whereas maybe I haven't got the snugness yet and he comes up. So we have two pathways from here. We can go back into the first move that we did on week 1, just from there. I can ooze my elbow and just flatten him out. Turn on your side, Carl. Don't let me flatten you out. That sucks. See the way Carl's framing at my hip? Good jiu-jitsu. Unusual for Carl. I can just use my knee. See how I've cleared that now? Now I have him flattened out again. So again, from that position, notice the way Carl's arms on the inside. Okay. So once I flatten him out, again, anytime he's pushing, I'll just clear that. And now I can start to put pressure on him here. Start to work. Anytime you come up and you feel roadblocks, just take them away. Right, and now from there I can step that into his head. Options to clear that, step into arm locks and stuff. But let's look at the main thing that Carl wants to be doing from that position. So anytime we're here, he turns onto the side. We now know that we can flatten them out and continue on with the arm triangle. But another thing we can do is attack the Darce. So from this position, I keep my grip. Left hand finds the back of the net. Right hand comes underneath. And I get two hands on the back of his head. And I want to pull Carl's neck towards me like this. Okay? Once I'm there, I'm going to keep the grip with my right hand. My left elbow comes over and it pushes Carl's head in further, and then I make the grip. This one just takes the slack out. Like every choke in jiu-jitsu is connection. The sharp bit of my wrist is on his right jugular. I need something over his left jugular, so I'm going to bring my shoulder over his shoulder. And then I just lift my knees off the mat and put our Darce. That again. So from here, get his back on the mat, create space, move in, cut the angle, Torianda, face his legs. Already see the way Carl has got inside position here? I don't want that, I want that up here. If he's out inside, there's no arm triangle. So fight to get that back. So again, bring it across, underhook it, hand to hand, flatten them out. Think about I need his 2 shoulders on the mat. And now from there, I'm reaching back. I start to move my body towards his head, wrap this up. In the process of me trying to get hand to hand, Carl bridges, turns onto the side. Okay, once I'm here, okay, I keep the grip with my left hand. I haven't got his head where I want it. I want his head in here. I need his chin and his chest. Anytime his head's here, he has alignment. We want to take away the alignment. So how are we going to do that? So from here, okay, right hand comes under, and I get 2 hands on the back of the neck. Now that'll only pull it in so far. Okay. Then I keep the grip with my right hand. Left elbow comes in, and that really pushes it in. And then my hand makes the grip on my bicep. Already, there should be tension. That makes sense. And then now all I need is to push this shoulder into his jugular by bringing my shoulder over. That makes sense? So it's that, but now my weight is on the mat, so I'm just lifting my knees off the mat. More time on that, bro. So, cross playing sit-up guard. We can find a shoulder and a foot, push down, create the space. Okay, hip out, look for our Torianda. Make sure my elbow is on the inside of his armpit. If his elbow's here underneath, I'll be looking for something else, possibly turning to face him and playing this control. Does that make sense? Another way into it, actually, from this position, which is quite cool. Just move back a bit this way. So we covered the super chill position when we were playing Henry Aiken side control system. Remember we were talking about this, okay, and just being heavy as a whale and all that stuff. So sometimes, why do I want my hand here? Because Carl sometimes would bring this hand around, and if he can load me onto his hip, put me on the corner of his hip, that was the escape. That makes sense. So we were doing this, hoping he would go for it, and that would give me the American. But another option is just grab here, and he brings this in. Now, in the system we taught, I could find the elbow, move my hip back, and step over his head. We had an arm lock from there. I'm going to do it from here. When I go to do it, Carl has a free hand. See the way he stopped my leg? And that's going to give you the arm triangle again. See, this is when it's going to happen. As you go for it, see the way Carl's turning onto the side? So you just keep the grip. Now we can flatten them out and really continue on with that. And if you're the bigger, heavier guy, I would be recommending that. Use your weight and smush it. Okay, but for us dweebs, okay, I keep the grip, okay, and then I switch my base, hand comes underneath, and I make 2 grips here, okay. Once I'm there, elbow does the job of getting his chin and his chest. So now I've got tension, elbow comes over, and now I just put pressure and weight on him. More time on that setup. So we're here, maybe I was there and I baited him into bringing that across. Moved my hip back. As I went for that, he stopped it. And now we're in. Okay. Obviously, if I can keep him flat, just into the arm-arm triangle. But if he turns onto the side, sometimes the path of least resistance, come underneath, 2 grips, okay, followed by an elbow. Concentrate on trying to get his chin and his chest, which messes with his alignment. He's weak. Find that already, there's tension. And now I move my shoulder over his shoulder. I just lift my knees off the mat. So he's turning me.